let's learn some notation first. And so the first is the I. So we have learned this already. I is the effective interest rate per interest period. Okay, it's not necessarily annual interest rate. It could be monthly interest rate, quarterly interest rate. Okay, that's why I said it's effective interest rate. I didn't say it's annual interest rate. Okay, so I is the first thing, and then N, the number of compound periods. We said NA can be very tricky. It's how many times you calculate the interest. It's not necessarily to be number of years. Okay, it could be number of months, number of quarters, number of half years. And then the third thing is P or PV. Okay, so PV is the value of an amount of money referenced to present time. Remember, we said we want to convert the cash flows to some single value so that you can compare, right? That single value needs a time spot. It could be a value at present. It could be a value of money in the future. It also could be the value of money at the end of every interest period. Okay, but you always want to convert all the cash flows to the same time spot so that the single values can be comparable. You don't want to compare option 1's present value with option 2's future value. It's not comparable because we said money has the time value of money can change over time, right? You don't want to compare the present money with a future money. It's not comparable. Okay, so but here the P or PV is just the value of a bunch of cash flows, equivalent value of a bunch of cash flows at the present time, okay, or now. And don't confuse this P with the principal. Okay, principal is just the initial amount you borrow. So we also use P, but don't confuse these two P's. Okay, this P you can also write it as PV. That makes more sense. That's P value. Okay, and then next thing is the F or FV, future value. Okay, so future value. So PV is the present value. Okay, future value is the value of an amount of money referenced to some future date. Okay, so you can convert the cash flows to a future time, like the end of your project. That is also a single equivalent value of the cash flows, and that is also something you can compare to the other projects if you convert all the project's cash flow into the future value. Okay, and as I said, you also can convert the cash flow into something called annuity, which means that's the same uniform amount occur at the end of each interest period. Okay, so A is annuity. So which is the end of period cash flows in a uniform series for a specified number of periods. It starts at the first period and ends at the last period. Okay, so if you convert the cash flow to annuity, the annuity always occur at the end of each period. Say you have 5 periods, the annuity could be income or outcome, but it's always at the end of each period, not at the beginning. Okay, and here we have some tips. So chapter 4 is all about the relationships between P, I, A, N, and F. So it's all about like how do you convert a value at present to the future, or you convert a future value to the present. How do you convert the cash flow to a future value, or to the present value, or to a new annuity, right? And so this is all about chapter 4. So you want to know how do you play with this, these letters I, N, P, F, A.